So I sat here trying to think about what to say today because we got some pretty jarring news. Now, really, I'm trying to think how I can perform to you all because being a multi-platform gamer means that I'm performing for views or whatever, yada yada. But you know what? I'm still gonna bring you guys how I feel. But I don't give a fuck, dude. I game the way I game, and I am the way I am. So as you guys know today, Sony brought up some devastating news that in January 2028 that they're done with physical media. Basically, any newer game will not be physical anymore. So, as a gamer, y'all would say just play your games. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person who actually has some type of values. So in the gaming space, right? When I would bring something up like this, example, I'm a PC gamer, but I'm also a console gamer. I own a PS3, a PS4, PS5, original Xbox, what do you call a GameCube and a Nintendo Wii. I own these things, these consoles. I have physicals for them, or whatnot. So it's really asinine to me that we're now coming to an end of an era where we won't be able to buy games like this used. So this is Soros. I wish I could probably focus that to y'all, but it's too much work to do all that right now. But that's Soros, and it's honestly pretty goddamn devastating. Now I bring this up because there are people out there who don't understand that. Yes, I am a multi-platform gamer. I love to buy games on PC because as a PC gamer, we have an open ecosystem. That means if y'all don't know what that means that we can stay on the high seas, we can play emulators. I don't have to buy games just on the Steam storefront. I can buy games on GOG, Epic Games, Battle.net, EA, whatever. The sky's the limit on PC. But on console, whether you're a supporter of Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony, you are destined to their closed ecosystem. What does that mean? Basically, what that means is that whatever they say goes. So since they're getting rid of physical, right? The consequence to that is that we don't own our media. Now, the main argument with that is, oh wait, on PC, you've been buying licenses for the past 20 years or so. Sure, yeah, I know, I get it. It's a license. I get it. It's a license that says, hey, you don't own this game, but you can play it. But on a console, I get a disc. I plug that disc in. Guess what? I don't have to be connected to the internet to install and play that disc. Anything goes. I can do whatever with my console offline. Again, there's pros and cons when it comes to this whole digital versus physical atmosphere. If you like to buy digital games, that's fine. That is cool. Do you? But as a person here, again, I like to buy my games digitally on PC, but on console, it's primarily physical. And then if I do buy anything digital on console, it is primarily DLC. It's that simple. It's that plain and simple. But according to hardcore gamers, they say, well, I haven't bought a physical game in 10 years, so it doesn't bother me. Yes, you're right. It doesn't bother you or affect you right now because you don't care about your consumer rights getting taken away. It's what it all comes down to. It's your consumer rights. As long as you get to play your video game, it's all fine and dandy, right? But you know what though? I hope and pray that Microsoft, I don't even feel like really saying that, but I'm saying anyways. I hope and pray that Microsoft, Sony, and Xbox in this digital quote-unquote future, I hope they all get hacked and y'all are gameless for like 3 weeks or a month or something like that, or 2 weeks. Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, because then y'all gonna be outraged and say, well, this is Sony, what's going on? Or Microsoft, what's going on? Why can I not play my video games right now? What's going on? Well, I'm sorry. This is the digital future that you guys want. Now, people will say, well, DisBearity, you're fear-mongering. This doesn't happen. It does happen. Because doesn't happen to you, it will happen. Doesn't have to be today, doesn't have to be tomorrow, doesn't have to be next week, but it will happen. Sony, especially since when it comes to Sony, they have the worst policies when it comes to refunds. Worst policies. Hell, just recently, Sony removed 500 movies from PlayStation, from PSN accounts across seas in the UK. Guess what? Those, if you bought any of those movies, guess what? You don't own them. You don't have them. They're gone from your library. If a game gets delisted, it's gone from your library. Now, granted, a cool caveat is whenever you buy a digital game, of course, if a storefront is closing, you will still be able to download that piece of media. That's the at least when it comes to games, at least. Cool. Movies, different story, but games, you'll at least be able to download it. Now, with what Sony said today, not only are they getting rid of physical games, they're also getting rid of the PS3 and Vita storefront. Now, as you guys know, back in 2017, if I recall, they were going to shut down the storefront back then, but there was a lot of backlash in that. So they didn't. They reversed it, and everything was fine and dandy. And so in 2026 is 28 or 27, when the storefronts will be all closed altogether, I can see, I'll be like, okay, you know, the PS3 storefront's been up for a long time. At this point, yeah, go ahead and shut it down. But for physical media, though, that's a whole different story. And I hope and pray that people start to look at a different picture or a different side of things. Because we as gamers, if you're a gamer, you should feel like you have choice. You have a choice. And if a company is removing your choice, then that's literally removing your rights as a gamer. And you should be pissed. You should be pissed about that. But a lot of people aren't pissed. And that is insane. Now, because Sony's storefront, you know, if they're going for this all digital future, right? Who's to say that they'll have digital games on decent sales? Guess what? That copy of Soros new game will probably still be $70 on their storefront, and within 2 years from now. Because guess what? Sony can do that now. Because there's no used market anymore. We don't have that no more. It's gone. But hey, gamers y'all are okay with that, because you know what? Gamers don't care. Hardcore gamers, at least, they just don't care. They don't care until it happens to them. But until it happens to them, they just want to play their video games. And that's totally cool. Now, a lot of people say, well, if you care this much, is that going to force you to stop gaming? I mean, no, it's not. I've been a gamer all my life. That's not going to force me to stop gaming. All I'm going to do is just play on my PC. What I'm like, what's the point of me buying a console now? What's the point of me buying? Because that's what make console gaming different, you know. And then there are lots of other things that change, you know, that changes with console. Not changes, I'm sorry. That you can do with console gaming as well. I mean, you can sell your game. You can lend it to your family members. You can give it to your friends. You know, you can do whatever you want because you own that piece, that disc. You own it. It is yours. And so my whole gist of things, y'all, is we're going to live in an era where people don't want to own their shit. This is what they want. This is what y'all want. It's just blatant consumerism. And before I even sign off here, once again, if y'all want to know me, ask some questions. I'm always been anti-corporation. If a corporation does wrong, I will speak out against it. I do have my own personal values. A lot of gamers don't have their own personal values. I have my own values where there are things that I'm willing to uphold, you know. And a lot of people, they don't have that, you know. And one last thing. But really, again, with the whole sentence of this doesn't affect me right now, shut up. It will affect you. It will affect you. Quit guzzling up corporations. That's all I'm going to say. Quit guzzling up corporations, y'all. But I hope that, y'all, try to fight this. Collect your physical media. Do what you got to do. Again, I'm a PC gamer. I'm a console gamer. I do both. It's not hard to do both. Like, what's even crazy is that I've always drawn up this, like, thought, right? I said, look, what if digital games were like $60, right? And physical were $70 to $80? That would be cool. At least for me, I'm like, look, that covers quote-unquote manufacturing costs, and then it's the best of both worlds, because you know what? Physical gets their cut, digital gets their cut, boom, or whatnot. I think that's like the better outlook than just flat out saying, all right, y'all, let's enter into a digital future. But once again, that's what the people want. I don't get it. I don't know what goes through the gamers' heads. I really don't understand. You know, I feel like even though you haven't bought physical in so long, I still think that you should fight for it. At least fight for other people. At least that's what I feel like that you should do. But you have these people that are just like, they just have this I don't give a fuck attitude, which is it's disgusting, but it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're in a terrible timeline, the worst timeline of gaming, the worst timeline in the world, and people are okay with that, you know? So if you really care about owning your items, owning your stuff, hey, buy what you need to buy, do what you got to do. You know, last thing I want to say is this: in the future, you will own nothing and you will be happy. Peace, y'all. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.